Hello again, down at Tip Top. And you sure you remember Jack Bond?
Yep.
With the Martin Manx Norton 500. Well, the car itself isn't here, but the last couple of weeks I've been doing a couple of his panels, cleaning them up, getting all the paint off, and just one more to do. So take it these are the side underneath panels somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. The two shorter ones are the rear ones,
Yeah.
with scoops out, which is where your back axle comes through.
Right, yeah.
And then the longer ones are the ones that come right down the side of the car,
Yeah.
and match up with the nose at the front.
Hmm.
So I had an unfortunate brake failure towards sort of the end of the season at Prescott,
Yeah.
and we ended up just nudging the tyre wall at Pardon.
Yeah.
Hence
the chunk squashed in there. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah.
And it sort of forced me into restoring the car, which I sort of knew it needed anyway, but I was hoping to keep it as a rolling restoration.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, it's happened a good thing that I've pulled it apart, because it's highlighted some things that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
The chassis was quite twisted actually,
Right.
which I think it probably was before I started with the car, because that agrees with the corner weights that I did before I'd even driven the car myself.
Right.
So I've made a jig for the chassis at home, got it on there now, sort of damage isn't too bad when we're repairing that.
Yeah.
Like Jeff says, he's stripped all these panels, so the nose needed a bit of work, so all the panels are going back to bare aluminium.
Mhm.
We'll just tidy them up, straighten them up a bit,
Yeah.
and
Start again with a.
sort of give it a bit of a
And you
light
think you're going to do it
restoration.
in the same sort of maroon colour that?
Yeah, I've not
Um,
thought too much about it, but
No.
I see no reason to move away from that colour, because I think it's quite nice.
Yeah.
It's how Roy Hunt ran it, who had it for quite a long time, who's a very well respected 500 man,
Yeah.
before he passed away. So yeah, I think we'll just keep it the same, but it gives us a chance to bare metal these and tidy everything up really.
Yeah. So you've been doing yourself a jig in your workshop near home.
Yeah, as with a job like this, 90% of the work is making jigs, tooling up and stuff like that. So I've made a jig for the chassis, a jig for what I call the chassis bridge across the front, which is your wishbone top and bottom mount, carries your steering rack, which is sort of the bulk of the chassis really.
Yeah.
And that's had a little tweak on the right hand corner. And initially I thought I'd just straighten it out, but once you strip the paint off and look at it, get back to it, there's a lot of previous damage on there. There's some poor previous repairs, a racing car with sort of 70 years worth of history. So I bit the bullet, made a jig to make a new chassis bridge. I'll graft the new chassis bridge onto the old chassis, so we've still got the original chassis, but I've made a jig to straighten the chassis up. Next job's to make a wishbone jig, so there's 4 wishbones to make. 2 of them aren't so bad, but again it's that thing, old metal, slightly tweaked, not quite good enough, so we'll make 4 new wishbones, 2 bottom 2 top, and I'll probably make myself a spare set, because again, once you've tooled up, set the bridge port up for notching the tubes, made a jig, actually making the just wishbones is pretty easy really.
Makes sense really.
So
doesn't it?
Engine and gearbox have come out and just gone under a cover on the bench. They should just drop straight back in, because we had no problems with them.
So hopefully in the next few months we'll see it back in action somewhere.
VSCC spring start is the target.
Right.
The VSCC meeting, 500 Owners Club are running 2 races there, I think. 1 grid across 2 races.
Whereabouts is that then?
Silverstone.
Silverstone, right,
So that's the target, first outing. There's quite a lot of work to do, but I think we're on the right side of it now.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Right, so that's just an update for those 500 fans out there, and I'd just like to say thanks for people subscribing to my channel, and it's certainly gone up in the past few months, and we'll see what happens in the next few months, and then hopefully we'll have a bit more of a car to show you next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, thanks for that, Jack.
No worries, thank you.